Hey guys, Nick here from Lift. Congratulations on your new purchase and welcome to the family. In this video, we're going to review some of the basic information about your new Lift Efoil. For more comprehensive instructions about your gear and your riding, check out the number of support videos available on our website and media channels. Your complete Efoil setup will include the following: your board, your propulsion case, your wings, and your battery. Inside your propulsion kit, you will find the following items: your propulsion unit, which is your mast and motor, your charger power supply, your hand controller, some basic Allen keys and hardware for assembly. Note there are a few extra screws just in case you lose one, an extra seal for your hatch top, a small bottle of oil for your electrical contacts, and an instruction manual. Let's assemble the board and propulsion unit as well as the wings and go over a few details that keep your Efoil in top shape. First, we're going to get set up to tighten the propulsion unit to the board. You will notice that there's 3 cables and a water line sticking out the top. These 3 cables are your phase connectors that deliver power to the motor. These connect into your electric box. This water line here is for the water cooling system through your electric box. There are no mechanical components for the system. Water flows in through the nose cone, through the lines, through a heat exchanger in the electronics, and out the board. This item right here is also referred to as the mast. Grab 4 of the M8 flathead screws from your propulsion case as well as a corresponding Allen key. Remove your board from the bag and place it upside down on top of the bag. You can do this on the floor or a low-lying table. Line the base of the mast and its seal with the bottom of the board. Note that the rounded edge of the mast points towards the front of the board and the sharper trailing edge points towards the rear of the board. Bead the lines from the propulsion through the board. Line up the seal and firmly place the mast against the bottom of the board. Before letting go of the mast, secure at least 1 M8 screw in place so that it doesn't fall over. Secure each screw most of the way, cycling through each one, and then finish by applying a moderate amount of pressure for the final adjustment. A few things to note about this process. The screws should go in easy and straight. If you have to force the screws, it could be that your items are not properly aligned and you can damage the threads. You can always back them out and try again. When finalizing, note that you do not have to over-tighten. Next, we can install the wings. Locate 2 of your M6 long screws and 2 of the M6 short screws in your propulsion case, as well as a corresponding Allen key. I like to start by locating the front wing onto the mast and securing with both the M6 long screws. Note that the front wing is the larger wing and points towards the front of the board. I then locate the back wing and install it into the fuse. I like to slide it in securely to line up the through holes with the inserts. Pro tip for removal: you can do a subtle twist to the wing to loosen and remove. So secure the back wing and install the 2 M6 short screws all the way in. Then apply a little weight to the fuselage to secure it into the mast. It's normal for this to be a tight fit and it might loosen up just a bit over time. You can then cycle through both M6 screws to get a snug fit and complete assembly of the fuselage to the mast. Again, you do not have to over-tighten. I will install my wing cover again and flip my board over. I might even use something to hold the nose of the board up. By the way, note, this is the correct way to carry your Efoil. Let's go ahead and open up the hatch compartment. Now this here is your hatch top, and these are your latches. What I like to do to open up the hatch top is I apply a little bit of pressure to the hatch as I open up the latches and twist them open. Now when I open up my hatch top, I want to try to not go past 90 degrees because that can put a lot of pressure on your hinges and affect the sealing capabilities of your hatch compartment. You'll notice documents inside the compartment related to registering your board with your local government. Be sure to check with your local authorities on appropriate registration and follow the instructions of the paperwork provided. By the way, your hold number is this guy right here on the side of the board. Let's set these papers aside for a second and get back to the fun stuff. Before we plug in our connectors for the first time, let's go ahead and pull out that bottle of Realex from our propulsion case. This oil works great on electrical contacts because it binds to the metals and repels water. I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of oil to my phase connectors of the electric box and coat the contacts on the inside. I'm also going to apply some oil to my data connector, which is really important and something that I redo every now and again as needed. You don't have to do this all the time, but visually inspect your contacts prior to each use. Let's go ahead and connect our water tube. You should hear a click. These tubes must be fully mated for water to flow through. Now let's go ahead and connect our phase connectors. The inside cable goes to the inside connector, and the outside cable goes to the outside connector. Or you can follow the color guides on the top of the connector. If you mismatch the position of the cables, you won't damage the unit, but your prop will spin in reverse, and that doesn't work so well. Now that these parts are all set up, let's get out our hand controller. Go ahead and install the hand strap to the side of your choice. It will look something like this. Let's set that aside for a bit and focus in on the battery. Before we get everything assembled, let's hone in on our battery and review a couple of items. Here you have your battery pack. This here is the power connector. You want to keep that nice and clean. This here is your data connector. You want to keep that clean. And you can occasionally use your Real X oil to avoid corrosion in that electrical contact. On the battery, you're going to see a label. It is not there for decoration. Please read through that label and follow those instructions very carefully. You will also see some LED lights on the top of the battery. It's absolutely normal for the green lights to be flashing. Those indicate state of charge of the battery. If there are no green lights, that just means that it has less than 10% and it is in a deep sleep mode that can be woken up with the charger. We will review that in a second. Let's talk briefly about some basic battery safety practices, okay? This battery has a lot of power in it, and it's imperative that you take the utmost care of your battery pack through its entire lifetime. It's important that you never leave your battery baking in the sun, that it gets overheated, and also you do not want to drop or damage your battery pack. If you drop or damage your battery pack, you want to stop using your product and contact us at LIFT. We will help you and tell you what to do. This main area around the side is the main seal of the battery pack. If that seal is damaged or broken in any way and water is able to get inside that battery, it could lead to a very serious fire. So again, be extra cautious with your battery, how you handle it, where you charge it, when you charge it, keeping it out of the sun, and just overall how you handle it. Take ownership of your battery, take good care of it. If you live in an apartment or you're on a boat or any kind of confined area, you'll want to really consider buying one of our aluminum cases for extra fire protection that can be found on our website. Let's review charging our battery. I have my battery pack, my charger, and my power supply that is connected. Now, when I go to charge my battery, I really want to charge in an area that's open space and away from flammable items for extra safety precautions. I also want to be aware when I'm charging my battery. I don't necessarily want to leave it charging overnight. Charging my battery is a relatively quick process, so I don't need that much time to charge the battery up. Probably best before I go out and ride versus after I ride. Now, the proper sequence for charging your battery is I'm going to connect the power connector. I'm going to connect my data connector, and then I'm going to plug in my charger with the power supply. Now, if you don't do it in these sequences, that's okay, but this is the proper method, especially if you don't have LEDs on the battery, because that is what is going to wake up your battery pack. So I go ahead and plug that in. The charger will take a minute to kick in. You're going to see the lightning bolt come on the charger, and the green LEDs will be blinking to indicate its charge sequence and state of charge. For further LED indications on the battery, refer to the manual. And if you have any questions whatsoever, contact us at help@liftfoils.com or give us a phone call. Now that we have charge on the battery, let's install it into the board and turn it on. First, I'm going to install the battery in. I'm going to connect my power connector and twist the cam lock to draw that power connector forward. I'm going to plug in my data connector by aligning the red dots and pressing it in to hear the click. Turn on the board, go ahead and press the top button of the electric box. you will see a sequence of blue lights come alive on the battery, a click and a motor chime to indicate the differences in the startup sequence. Note that the blue lights on the battery signify operation and not the state of charge. Let's go ahead and turn on the hand controller. If I get the no signal symbol, that just means that the hand controller is not paired to the board. You can find the pairing process listed on the quick instructions under the hatch top, but we'll walk you through it quickly. Once everything is paired up, you'll see a battery indication on the screen. This is how much battery is available in the board. You can also hit the select button to alter the power levels on the hand controller from 1 to 15. That's it, your board is rigged up and ready to ride. Make sure that your hand controller is turned off when transporting your Efoil. To shut it down, go ahead and press the power button again and wait for all lights to stop flashing. Note that upon shutdown, the battery stores data into the electric box to be accessed by the LIFT Efoil app. Speaking of the LIFT Efoil app, download it, register, and check for the latest firmware versions for both the board and the hand controller. Before we get out on the water, let's just review some basic maintenance of your LIFT Efoil. One of the most important things you can do is to keep your hatch compartment dry. And for that, we need to talk a little bit about the latches, okay? These latches are very important in keeping and maintaining a seal in a dry compartment when in use. All components are fully waterproof, but it's best to maintain a dry compartment for extra longevity and safety. These latches are adjusted and vacuum tested prior to shipping to customers, but the seal may compress or adjust during transit, and it's important that the customer maintain the tension of the latch as needed to keep a dry compartment. If I discover water in my compartment after a ride, I adjust the tension of my latches right away. Let's go through that real quickly. So to adjust the tension on my latch, I do the following. I open up the hatch compartment and I go ahead and shut down the latch so it's into position. Go ahead and loosen the nuts around the lever arm. And if you want to tighten the latch, you can spin the lever arm in a clockwise direction to tighten. If you want to loosen, you can spin that lever arm in a counterclockwise direction. Then go ahead and tighten down those nuts around it so that it's in the same position pointing out towards the rail of the board. You've now adjusted the tension on your latch. The latches should be firm but not overly difficult to open. Apply some grease or even your Real-X oil to the joint of the latch to reduce friction, and remember to push down on the lid when opening and closing. Always review the seal around the perimeter of the hatch compartment. If the seal is damaged in any way, it may need replacement. We have a video for that as well. Whenever you ride your equipment in salty or dirty water, be sure to rinse down all components with fresh water. It takes only a few moments and goes a long way. Before stowing my board, I like to dry the inside compartment properly with a towel and maybe even let it air dry for a bit. This keeps my compartment dry when stowed away for extended periods of time. Keep an eye on your data cable and keep it oiled. If it looks worn and corroded, be sure to replace it. Use your bags and covers any chance that you get. Most accidents happen outside the water. And don't leave your board baking in the sun. Again, exercise extra caution with your battery. Check out our other videos on mastering your first ride as well as additional safety tips. Go out, have some fun.